Okay guys and girls, I'm going to shoot a quick video of this 56 big window F1, F100, whatever you want to call it. It's 56, it is a big window. This truck has power steering, power disc brakes, and it does have, the man says it's a 351 Windsor. I clearly can identify it as a small block Ford. I'm going to change the way I address these situations. If it's not a numbers matching car or some exotic powertrain, basically I'm going to say I'm not going to sand these blocks down and figure out whether it's a 289, a 302, or a 351. I was told it was a Windsor, so I'm not sure. It's clearly a small block Ford. So moving on with a C4. Anyways, automatic transmission. It is highway friendly, so the rear gear must be, it must be a 3 Series carrier, because it's not turning, you can't hear the motor revving driving it down the road. I've actually driven it around quite a bit today, and the truck drives awesome. There are numerous little touched up rock chips here and there. This truck, from my guess, has been done for quite some time. But still great for any outdoor cruise nights, but it is not going to World of Wheels. So you can see some touched up spots on the edges and things like that. There's little touched up spots here and there. So we're going to call this a great driver, and it does drive great. Like I said, power steering, power disc brakes. Really not a whole lot more to say about it. It does have a door popper on the driver's side. Passenger side, you open from the inside. The driver's side power window works, but it's real finicky. Sometimes it'll work every time. Sometimes you got to tap on the motor. So basically, and again, I always say this, if I get to it, I will address the situation. Sometimes they sell before I address the situation. I have a feeling this truck will probably sell relatively quickly. Like I said, you can see it could use some touch up on a few spots. And again, as I'm a half hour away from a lot of places that, like, when I have them put the paint gun on it to mix paint up and stuff like that. So like if I have to drive to St. Louis or drive it, I'll run it by there and I'll get some touch up made. If not, somebody else can do it easy enough. It does have a nice wood floor in the bed. It does have the fuel cells in the bed. All the gauges work. Gas gauge, temp. Nice floor actually in there. They did a good job on it. Whoever did this truck initially did a great job. It was done very nicely. And, like I said, it is truly drivable. I've had some people approach me lately, asking me to buy things, mainly people in my neighborhood, which I don't buy anything from anybody around here, and I don't sell anything around here. But it's always the classic, everything is too high, and then they show up over here with a $35,000 car that you can drive 2 months out of the year to Dairy Queen to get an ice cream. I drive my stuff on the highway. Like I told you, I drive to Farmington, I drive to Festus if you want to do the legwork on that stuff from St. Gen, but I drive to St. Louis frequently, and this truck appears to me like it'll be great for that. Just a super neat truck. I've never had, somebody corrected me immediately on this too, and I just deleted their comment and deleted their stuff. When I say that I've never had a 53 to 56 big window, people, I guess the know-it-alls who know that 56 was the first year for the big window don't understand that there are craftsmen out there who build their own stuff, and they put big windows in 53, 4s, and 5s. So that being said, since you corrected me, at which, I had to change it because I obviously have nothing else to do. This is a 56. It is a big window. Yes, it was the first year for the big window. It does have tilt column. Like I said, gas gauge, temp gauge, oil pressure gauge, speedo, they all work. Just a neat, nice, clean truck. Like I said, it's not going to win at World of Wheels, but it is a super nice driver. and actually drivable. You know, a lot of these guys with these old flatheads and things like that, they're novelty items and they're great, and we all know that we've seen you run a flathead across the country and, you know, you're fixing it on the side of the road and all that cool stuff, and flatheads are great and originality is great, but I would rather have the modern motor, or more modern motor. You know, I love the Crown Vic swaps and all that kind of stuff, because I actually drive my stuff for hours on the highway. Hold on here. And like I said, I'm not taking it to the next level of sanding that block down. If it gets to the point where you want to know if it's a 302 or a 351 or a 289, then when I get a deposit, I'll go through the grief of sanding blocks down and figuring it out. Like I said, I just don't have the time for it. So anyways, there we go. 1956 F100 big window.